Other than Michael Jordan, there is no other retired NBA player as famous as Shaquille O'Neal. Even 10 years after his basketball career ended, Shaq remains in the public eye through TV appearances, commercials, music, and various business ventures. His larger-than-life personality goes hand in hand with his enormous stature, and that's why Shaq became one of the most popular athletes in the history of sports. Even though you probably know a lot about Shaq already, here are 10 lesser-known facts about the four-time NBA champion and one of the most dominant players who ever played. Shaq is in law enforcement. Shaq always had huge respect for law enforcement. Two of his uncles were police officers, and it has always been a dream of his to suit up in a police uniform. It just happened to be that he grew up a 7-footer who could suit up in various NBA jerseys instead. But after he was done playing, he revived his interest in joining law enforcement. He became a deputy sheriff in Georgia and Florida because he spends most of his time in Atlanta working for TNT, and Orlando, where he resides in a 70,000 square feet mansion. He publicly said he plans to run for sheriff in either county once his TNT career is over. But if you want to take a look at Shaq in a police uniform before then, just turn on Grown Ups 2, where O'Neal plays a police officer alongside Adam Sandler. Shaq's biological father abandoned him. Shaq's song, Biological Didn't Bother, on his second album was an ode to Sergeant Philip Harrison, who raised Shaq and who Shaq called his father. Based on CL Smooth's verse on Troy, Biological Didn't Bother was also sort of a diss track to his real dad and a way for young Shaquille to express his feelings. James Toney, Shaq's real dad, was convicted of drug addiction problems and was sentenced to jail when Shaq was an infant. Once he got out, Toney elected not to reconnect with Shaq, and the NBA legend never met his father until he was 44. They finally reconciled in 2016 and met in a restaurant Shaq often ate in, which coincidentally happened to be below Toney's apartment. O'Neal forgave his dad and said that he doesn't judge him. Even though they don't see each other that often, Shaq and his biological father now speak on the phone from time to time, and Toney has also met his grandchildren. Has a business empire. Along with Jordan, Magic, and now LeBron, Shaq is the wealthiest NBA player ever. With $286 million, he is fourth all-time earner in NBA salary. But that's just a fraction of what he's earned off the court. Shaq describes himself as a master marketer, and he's never seen a commercial pitch he didn't like. Shaq endorses so many products that it would almost be easier to list the ones he is not involved with. Apart from marketing endeavors, Shaq's curious mind and tech savviness made him an extremely successful investor as well. He has been an early investor in Google, Apple, esports, as well as some food chains like Krispy Kreme and Papa John's. Then there is his career in entertainment and show business, where Shaq did almost everything a person can do, from talking basketball with Ernie, Kinney, and Chuck, to acting, rapping, DJing, and producing. He also drove undercover Lyft, orchestrated a classical concert, and boxed 5 rounds with Oscar De La Hoya. Big Diesel is also an owner of many business ventures. He owns several hundred restaurants, gyms, car washes, and other franchises, including minority ownership of Sacramento Kings, despite famously calling them queens in his playing days. By saving and investing 75% of his income, Shaq is now earning more than he ever did as a player. Shaq spent his first million in under an hour. Shaq's family didn't have a lot of money when he was growing up, but that changed when O'Neal was drafted #1 overall in 1992. Shaq's rookie salary was $3 million before taxes, and Shaq managed to spend nearly half within 24 hours of his first check from the Magic. As soon as the money landed on his account, Shaq went to a Mercedes dealership and bought a $150,000 black Mercedes with some big rims on that thing. When he got home, his father asked him, "Okay, but where's mine?" So Shaq and Sarge Harrison drove the Mercedes back to the dealership and came back with two of a kind. After another car for his mom, some clothes, electronics, and gifts, Shaq was $80,000 in debt. After a call from the bank explaining that he had spent almost half of his rookie salary in one day, Shaq sobered up and started taking his finances seriously. Shaq was recruited by LSU at age 13 when mistaken for a soldier. If you see someone who is 6'8" and wearing size 17 sneakers, it's hard to imagine that they are only 13 years of age. However, that's precisely what happened in Shaq's case, who was mistaken for an Army recruit by Dale Brown. Brown was a basketball coach for LSU, where he coached for 25 years. He was putting on a coaching clinic in Wildfleck in West Germany, where the 13-year-old Shaq lived at the time because his father was Army stationed there. Due to his size, Brown assumed O'Neal was already in college, and Shaq had to explain that he's only 13. "You're 13? Take me to your father immediately," Dale Brown said. After he spoke to Shaq's family, he offered him a scholarship on the spot. 5 years after, Shaq became a Tiger, where he would spend 3 years playing for Coach Brown. Shaq has a platinum rap album. Many basketball players wanted to become rap stars in the 90s. Many have tried, but few have been successful. Iverson's album flunked and was cited to be exceedingly profanity-filled. Chris Webber doesn't like to remember his song Gangsta Gangsta, and Kobe dabbled in rap as well, only to realize he better quit before he jeopardizes his marketing appeal. Shaq didn't have such problems and is considered to be the best NBA rapper of all time. His first album, Shaq Diesel, went platinum and sold over 1 million copies. What's Up Doc with Fushnikins is considered to be the best song on Shaq Diesel, as well as I Know I Got Skills, which reached number 35 on the Billboard Hot 100.